Today, I feel like I'm going to talk about what I feel like needs to be talked about, and it's going to be similar to the old video talking about the evolution of my channel, talking about just entertainment wise that I have to share, right? So what I want to talk about today is how I feel like things happen in life that you think are going to go one way and don't happen the way that you expect. For example, you can think that nothing is wrong and everything's fine and there's no issues or anything, and then you see that when you're not around or in places that you don't see or just behind your back, there's things going on that you're not aware of. And what you are aware of is not what's happening around you, right? Like, so there can be things happening around you that give you the impression that nothing is wrong, but things not happening around you can be more accurate, right? Like, so what's not being said to your face, what's being said behind your back, what's being done outside or your view, right? What's outside of what you're aware of is where things are actually happening, right? And that situation is not as good as you believe it to be, because there's nothing happening in front of you. It's happening behind your back. So I feel like there's lots of different situations like this where if someone has an issue with you, they won't tell you their issue. What they'll do is they'll go behind your back and they'll do something behind your back, right? Like or what they'll do is they'll try to go over your head or something that's in secret, right? Like they're anonymous, right? Like, oh, there's someone is reporting on you, someone's talking about you, and it's in secret. It's not to your face. And I think this happens a lot more today than in the past. Like, I feel like because today is the information age, everybody has a smartphone, everybody has their cell phone, they have the ability to upload videos, and tell the world their story. So now it's in people's best interest to hide in darker places when they do things. They don't want to do things in the light. They don't want to step into the light and say, oh, this is what I'm doing. They want to be unseen. They don't want to be heard. They don't want anyone to know that they exist. When they want to do things behind the scenes, right? While everyone's distracted by something else or everyone believes something else, they want to be the only ones that know the truth and basically just let everybody else be deceived or be just ignorant of what's actually going on. And I kind of think, personally, as a Christian, that this is something that is the opposite of what being a Christian is all about. Like, as a Christian, you're not trying to do something behind somebody's back. You're not trying to go around and hide or even have different intentions in front of different people. Like, you're supposed to be same person to everyone. Like, no one's treated differently. Like, if I tell one person a story, everybody hears that same story. There's no two faces, there's no two sides saying something different to different people. Even enemies. Like, even what you say to the enemy and what you say to your friend is still going to be the same story. And I think when you become aware of the fact that things are going on that you're not aware of, like things are happening that you're not aware of, like people are trying to create some kind of plan, that's not in your favor, like someone is like watching everything you do, right? And trying to say, oh, this person did this, that, and the third, right? Trying to say, oh, this person doesn't have a spotless track record, and then trying to accumulate different things to say about that person, to say, oh, they did this, they did this, they did this, when they themselves clearly are not perfect either. Like, they could have a list for themselves, but that would be counterproductive to their goals, right? Which are to benefit themselves. So they're not going to look at themselves in the mirror and point out their shortcomings. They only have time to point out someone's shortcomings who is in their way of achieving the things that they want, right? Like, they only have time to attack their enemies and to try to help their friends, right? But as Christians, we're supposed to treat everybody fairly. If somebody's working harder, they should be treated better. They should get the payment that they've earned for doing better work. It's not, oh, doesn't matter what this person does, I'm only going to reward people who I think benefit me more than people who I think don't benefit me. Like, oh, I like this person better. They're on my side, so I'm going to help them. But then this person, they're more neutral, and they're not on my side, so I'm not really going to help them. If anything, I'm going to try to take things away from them and give them to the ones that I think benefit me more, right? So I think it's interesting how people every day are making decisions, and as a Christian, it's like, okay, what's the solution? How do you deal with this kind of situation? How do you deal with people who are trying to move, in what they think is a clever way, where they think they're somehow better than you or they're more intelligent than you, and they're trying to take from you what you have earned and trying to justify it by trying to say, oh, look at this, look at that, right? For their own personal gain, and that's really all there is to it, just helping people that are helping them, and people who they think are not helping them as much as somebody else would. For example, I've heard the phrase, people who would not help you bury the body, right? That like they're not trying to help you. You're not a bad person, but you would not help them bury a body, right? You wouldn't help them bury the body. Like if they were guilty of something, you wouldn't help them bury the body. So therefore, they're trying to take things away from you and give them to people who would help them bury a body. People that aren't really interested so much in right and wrong as in helping themselves and helping other people who are helping them. They're just more of a selfish point of view to the world. Whereas like your morality has nothing to do with any kind of justice or truth. It's like, oh, just what's best for you, that's how you're going to execute your decisions in life, professionally and personally. I'm just going to do what's best for me. And if there's a Christian person nearby that I feel like he's not going to help me bury a body, it's like I need to push this guy lower down and try to raise other people up who are not trying to do the right thing, but just more trying to help me, or who I see helping me more than a Christian would. So I think it's interesting how those things play out in life in different ways. It's I kind of think there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of hard things that people are trying to come up with a solution for that really there's no solution for, right? Like, for example, in the military, there's different programs that are supposed to be put in place to help you, right? So to make sure that as a soldier, like there's no corruption, right? There's no one's getting treated unfairly, basically. But when somebody is in a position like someone is put in a position in a program that's meant to help people be treated fairly, and this person has zero interest in making sure that people are treated fairly, but really their interests are totally selfish, right? Only about what's helping them, then this is a solution to a problem now that has become a problem that's made a problem a bigger problem. So, like, if for example, I think females are treated better than males, right? and oh, I feel like someone is being treated unfairly in better, right? And I want to say that this is unfair, and then I go to someone and I'm like, hey, this is unfair in my opinion, this is what I think, right? And that person who's in that program, who's supposed to make sure everything is fair, says, I see what you're saying, and because of my selfish intentions, I'm going to do everything in my power to not help you, right? I'm going to basically do everything behind your back, not in front of you. Like, I'm going to do things, where that's not seen and not heard, to completely undermine you and disenfranchise you, whatever method can be used against you, I'm going to use it, because it's like, I really don't care about right or wrong, only my own self-interest. And it doesn't matter if I've been given a responsibility to make sure that everybody's treated fairly. It doesn't matter. I'm only going to do what I feel is best for me. And if what's best for me is not best for you, so what? So there's a lot of problems in the military where people have to deal with this. It's like people are trying to come up with solutions to these problems. And it's just sad, that in my own opinion, if everybody is selfish, right? If everybody is selfish, that's the only solution. It's like the only solution is everybody being selfish, because then that would somehow even everything out. Even if this person's only trying to help people who are going to benefit them because of their selfish motives, if everybody acts that way, then it wouldn't matter what advantage somebody got, because someone else would get an unfair advantage somewhere else for the same reason, right? Because if people are divided, then those divided people are going to work against each other, and it would just cancel each other out. But the only issue is, if you're a Christian, right? If you're someone who's probably responsible for putting something in place, or putting a program in place to make sure everyone was treated fairly, if you're someone who was actually trying to create a solution for everyone and do what was best for everyone, the only ones that are not getting anywhere, are the people who are treating everyone fairly, because then you're helping enemies who are working against you. You're trying to make sure your enemy's treated fairly, but your enemy really has no interest to make sure that you're treated fairly. So the only people that really are benefiting from programs where there's really no solution are it's been twisted around into being a program to make sure that corruption stays in place. So the only other solution that I believe there is, what I call justice, is shining a light on problems, right? The only thing that I can see is exposing problems, right? Like, if everybody is watched at all times, no one has any privacy, that's the only solution, right? Like either everybody is in the light at all times, so everybody's actions are seen at all times by everyone. Then now we have some justice. We can all, go back to the tape, replay the tape. Oh, we can all see and we can all judge and even everything out. We can make everything fair because everybody working against everybody would make everything equal, right? So, but if it's people are allowed to do things in secret, and no one investigates, no one tells their story, and has like an intelligent plan to say, oh, I'm being treated unfairly, and here's a foolproof way to make sure that these people are getting the same treatment that they're giving others. Like they're treating people unfairly, so they should get that same unfair treatment. That's their reward. And that reward is going to be given to them by people who see what they do, Because I feel that telling someone what somebody did and seeing what somebody did are two totally different things. Because you can bear false witness against your neighbor, and you can call the police and say, oh, I see a thief, or you can have a videotape of somebody actually breaking into something and trying to make their getaway. Those are two totally different things. Saying what you see and actually having evidence of what you see are two completely different things. I feel like people can say, oh, I completely 100% trust in what this man says or in what somebody says. But then it's like, if you look at evidence, what they said was not actually the truth, right? It's more entertainment than anything else, and then you're just voting for what kind of entertainment you like the most, and that's just another selfish, motive. Versus, oh, look, there's a video of this happening, and everybody can see, and then everybody can make a judgment, and then it evens itself out. So it's like I prefer not to tell stories. I prefer to just, point a camera and let everybody see and hear for themselves and make their own judgment. Because that's what I think justice is, where without a judge, where everybody gets to judge, and then things become fair that way. Because everybody's going to get treated differently based on their experience, It's like, I constantly feel like I have experiences where I don't have the ability to make things better. I constantly feel like, oh, I feel like I've been treated unfairly, but there's no one to help. The programs and the people around who are supposed to be there to help, they're all selfish. They're only helping themselves. There's no one to go to for help. So I feel like getting a story told is like it has to be videotaped, has to be recorded. So people who give a false witness no longer have that power, or people who enjoy the privilege of saying something and what they say is above question. Like no one can question it. Like there's no freedom to to say, I don't want to just take your word for it. I want to see evidence. I want to see a video or a recording. I want to see this happen with my own eyes. I don't want to just listen to what you say and just believe you. I want to see for myself. It's like, based on what you say, I don't mind going to take a look for myself based on what you say, versus, oh, what you said, that's good enough for me. Let's go and, go to war based on what you said, versus go and see for myself. Okay, and then I've seen for myself, now I agree with you, let's go to war. So I kind of feel like this video is kind of going all over the place. It's not so much about work. It's not so much about life experiences or just problem solving. Just this concept that I want to get off my chest, that I feel like just the answer is just enlightening people, giving people the truth, everyone the truth, as much truth as it can be provided. That's the solution. As a Christian, do to others what I want others to do to me. When I want to make a decision about the right thing, I want to see a video. I want to see a recording. I want to see some evidence so that I can make a judgment for myself, so I can discern for myself. I don't want to just be told something, because in my experience, I've been told a lot of things that are not true. But if I have the experience for myself, and I'm not being a totally selfish person, and I'm like just trying to see things for what they truly are, I want to see a video. I want to see a recording. I want to see that what I'm being told is true, so I can make that judgment for myself. So I kind of feel there's a lot of things in this world where it's like people are trying to represent themselves or explain the situation the best that they can. It's like two women claim to be the mother of a child before there's DNA evidence. And someone says, okay, cut the child in half and give one half to one woman and one half to the other. And that's the best way, that's the best solution to the problem, because we're just going to go with what people say. But then the reactions of the two women is different. One woman says, okay, I accept that judgment, cut the child in half. And then the other woman's reaction is, no, don't cut the child in half, just let the other woman have the child, because they would rather see that child live than be cut in half. And then, oh, that's wisdom. The wisdom of someone with, I don't know, some greater understanding to see, oh, the woman who doesn't want harm to come to the child, who would even help her enemy, that's the child's true mother. It's like we can make we can make a better judgment even without evidence. But the problem is everyone doesn't have greater understanding to discern who a child's true mother is from just hearing someone's story. Not everybody has that intelligence. So just as a Christian, it's like I'm making a video and I'm just talking about these things, and hopefully I'm coming with a solution somewhere in there. Just saying that from my point of view, I see these problems. I haven't seen a good solution for these problems, and I feel like I want the programs in place to change for the better. I feel like I'm being treated unfairly, and there needs to be a better system in place so that people are not treated unfairly. Not just because I say so, but there needs to be some way that people can see for themselves and judge for themselves. That everyone has access to. So everyone can make a judgment and everything becomes fair because of that. Not because this guy's fair or that guy's fair, but because they're both equally, as bad. Like, this guy's gonna make bad decisions, that guy's gonna make bad decisions, this guy's gonna break all the rules, and this guy's gonna break all the rules, but they're not working together, they're working against each other. So if they both get to see an event, they're both gonna take action, and everything will end up fair eventually. It'll balance itself out. Somebody getting a promotion over somebody else, somebody sees that, and then because of that, they react and give somebody a promotion that helps in the opposite way. That's the most fairness that there can be in this world. Just everybody seeing what's going on, and then everybody making their judgment and deciding for themselves what's right. If they're given the opportunity to see for themselves. Maybe in the future I'll just, I'll have to think about, just because I don't think I can go just record everything and just videotape everything. So I'm going to have to just try to study to better myself, to have that greater understanding, from hearing a story, to try to help to make things better. I just need to educate myself as much as possible, so that hearing someone's story, I can have great enough understanding to still come to the truth. Even if I'm not told the truth, have the intelligence to still find the truth. And then be Christian enough to do what's right, even if it benefits an enemy and not a friend. Because I think Jesus would die for his friends, and he would die for his enemies. He's going to help someone who is about to be stoned to death because they were caught in the act of a crime. And he would help somebody who was innocent, who did nothing. feel like that's the character of Jesus, treating everybody the same, no matter who they are. So, just, I guess that's the end of this video. Just trying to show my character, some of my personality, laugh at my pain. Just trying to evolve. Wanting things to be better than they were yesterday.